Content warning. Tone Deaf is rated explicit for mature content and strong language. Spoilers are in every episode, so if you haven't seen the shows we are reviewing, you can always check back in later with us. We'll be here when you get back.
Welcome to Tone Deaf, a theater nerd's guide for their musically challenged spouse. I'm Kay, a musical theater nerd who went by one letter for their name before it was cool.
And I'm Warren. I haven't gone by one letter for my name because I have three names. A big middle first name, a nickname, a middle name,
Okay,
last name.
Technically, I have 5, 6 if we're keeping my maiden name, which we're not, but, you know.
So I gotta ask, what's the whole going by?
V.
Oh, god damn it, why did I not realize that? We've both been playing Cyberpunk, so of course that reference makes sense.
I'm happy that V's given name is the same as one of my middle names, so.
Yes, this is true.
Female
V.
Yeah, female V. Female presenting V.
I should say female voiced V.
Yeah, female voiced.
I don't
know.
know.
I've got some issues with that, but that's okay.
I don't know what male voiced V's name is. I'm betting on Vincent.
I'm betting on Valerius because they're lazy.
I don't think it'll be Victor because there's already
Victor.
And
Valerius.
Not that you can't have two Victors in a story, but I feel like the writer's room would have been like,
Same name! Same name!
You get a discount. Get up on there. Let me pluck out those eyes and give you cool robot eyes.
Wait. We're a musical theater podcast.
Oh, that's right. We're not a cyberpunk podcast. However,
yes,
There's
Corporate War the musical in which I need to find it.
They've mentioned it. I don't know if it'll be a thing in the game. I really hope it is because then we could do a cyberpunk episode.
There is a bit that I've walked into where someone's singing a bit from it, and it sounds like a parody of "I Dreamed a Dream" from Les Mis. Yeah, I need this. I need it to be real, please God.
Oh man, CD Projekt Red, I know you're listening in Poland. So do this.
And also, we're on PC, so we're not as affected, but fix the game.
Yeah. So, funny side note, I saw a funny review on Steam that made me laugh, and said the greatest early access game of all time. Can't wait for the final build. Mm-hmm. Made me laugh.
I've only found Paperboy with the best cyber armor in the game. Cyberware, not cyber armor.
Paper is surprisingly good at stopping bullets.
Yeah, hey, CD Projekt Red, also, give me my Paperboy cyberware.
You cowards.
But we're not here to talk about Cyberpunk.
That might very well be the most digressy intro we've ever done. Usually we do the, hey, I'm Kay, I'm Warren, this is a musical theater podcast where I know stuff and he doesn't. And then we go into the show, and then instead we were like, hey everybody, do you want to know what we've been doing?
I really want to go back to playing.
No, you have to edit.
Okay, well, let's get this over with then. So, yeah, we are doing something similar to Jingle Jangle, where it's a show that neither of us saw, and we jumped in kind of blind with it. We saw The Prom on Netflix.
Which was good.
Yes.
And we had some gripes about certain parts of it. Mm-hmm. Overall, I thought it was pretty dang good. Mm-hmm. It was entertaining, to be sure. Has some heavy stuff though.
Yeah.
Has some real heavy stuff though.
Yeah, it broke me for like 3 days.
It did. Kay got shaken a bit.
I have not been that broken, I think, since Rachel. From Black History Month.
Oh. So, yes, The Prom, which Kay and I both talked about. I don't like when they do, and this might, it's weird to say a musical, like a theater purist, like as if I'm some theater purist, but it is something that is annoying when a show gets popular and then they try to make a movie out of it and they don't use the people who were in the show.
Yeah.
It's one thing if they don't want to do it. Like, maybe they just love theater and they're like, no, I don't want to be in a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Or if they're unable to, or if there's a contract thing. But the fact that, like, nobody from the theater version was in this is
as
one of
far
those...
as I know, yeah.
It's I don't like that. Because they didn't do that with Rent.
No.
Rent, they used everybody they could.
Everybody except for Joanne. And with, like, it almost feels like My Fair Lady on a cast-wide scale. Where it was supposed to be Julie Andrews, but they said, no, you're not a big enough star. And then she turned around, did Sound of Music, and went, fuck you, Fox. Or no, not Fox. Who was it that... Anyway.
A spoonful of fuck you makes the review much better. Makes the review much better.
Yeah, it's like... I don't know. I feel like if they were to have tried to go with folks that, like, if for some reason it was because I didn't look into this, because I wanted to go in as fresh as I could. If it was really just a conflicting thing, which I kind of doubt, why didn't they have Patti LuPone as Meryl Streep's character and Nathan Lane as James Corden's?
Big shrug.
That's who they are. And they are good at playing, at like poking fun at themselves. And that's who those characters were.
I appreciate people who can make fun of themselves. As somebody who has a master's degree in self-deprecating humor, I appreciate when other people can poke fun at themselves.
That's awesome you got your master's. I'm still working on my bachelor's.
Well, I mean, really, it's a doctorate, but I didn't want to brag.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't want you'd have to call me Dr. Warren.
Why not? Dr. Warren's sexy.
Well, you see, we've tried that before, and you go, hey, not role-playing that.
That's true, yeah. So. I don't want to... No, you're... I mean, Teacher Warren is worse than Dr. Warren, but...
So, Miss K, you're failing my class.
No.
How are you going to earn some extra credit?
No. No.
Anyways... Do you have anything you want to say before we get started?
It made me cry.
It did.
Full cry.
It made Kay cry a couple times, and you know what? It almost made me cry a couple times. I got some teary eyes, and I thought the curse of the witch was going to be broken, at least in part. But then the curse snapped back into effect, and all of the tears were transferred to Kay, who
was broken for days.
A couple days, yeah. Like we're talking about, this show hits hard if you experience
any part of this.
Yeah.
So
as a straight cis white man, I was surprised how much I identified with the main character Emma, which was odd. Yeah, because I'm like the last demographic that should ever identify with a lesbian.
Shit happen because of Utah and its amazingness.
Yeah. So yeah.
Two people who are definitely not going to the Celestial Kingdom host a podcast about theater. I'm pretty sure I'm going to the Celestial Kingdom because I have forsaken my religion.
I don't know. Outer Darkness has the best beer.
Well, that's the same thing.
Oh, whatever. It's
Outer Darkness is the best beer.
The show opens up with a school board being a bunch of dicks, voting to cancel prom because they have specific guidelines. Girls must wear non-revealing dresses. Okay, that's fine. It's a school dance. Why not? Boys must wear suits or tuxedos. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Prom's supposed to be kind of a classy event. You get dressed up, you have a good time. Sure, I have no issues with saying, hey, you can't come in a t-shirt and khakis. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. And all participants must bring a date of the opposite sex. Okay, not fine. Fuck you.
Yeah.
So, of course, that's where the main conflict of the show originates, is that we have a gay character who wants to bring her girlfriend to the prom, and the school board, rather than being, rather than, being loving Christians, love thy neighbor
Yeah.
and all that, they're like, no! Homosexuality is a sin! Pardon me while I go get my hair cut, get a tattoo, and eat some shrimp. A reporter asks Bitch Von School Board if they can just ban the one student from going to the prom. And Bitch Von School Board is like, nah, we'd get sued, so it's better if I just cancel the entire event and pin it all on the queer girl who wants to bring her girlfriend to the prom. Seems legit, bitch.
And I hate that this was something that actually would happen.
Yeah, did.
I hate it so much.
Yeah, it's
With
some...
a fire of 1,000 suns.
It's some pettiness. That is
Yes,
some,
it is.
That is some petty punishing of a teen.
Yeah,
Just
it's
for being who they are.
Yeah.
You're wrong for being who you are. It's like,
And then people
Take it up
wonder
with
why
God.
teens are committing suicide at alarming rates. Gee, I wonder why, fuckfaces.
I know that and this, hence some of the tone. I mean, there's no teen suicide in this,
Thank God.
but
there were some moments that...
Kate and I had talked about previously that this is a PG-13 film, and so they have some silly bits to try and bring levity to the serious weight of the LGBTQ issues in this show. If it had been an R-rated show, it would have probably been a lot more true to life in terms of the level of discrimination and hardship that people in that community face from other groups. I'm glad that it didn't. I'm glad this was not a kill the gays show.
Those I think that Kill the Gays are banned. Here and forever are banned. No one can kill gays anymore in your media.
You know what? If you're gonna kill a gay, you gotta kill a straight. That's the rules. That's the rule. No, for every gay that dies, you have to kill 10 straights. How about that? Because it's already so disproportionate in terms of numbers in the populace. You got to electoral college this shit. I'm just saying, fair representation, okay? If we're gonna go by demographics and trying to ensure that everything is balanced. I'm just saying, the silent minority is very vocal. Or silent majority is, yeah, the quote-unquote silent majority.
Yeah, quote-unquote silent majority. Calm, Kay. Calm. Stay off of your soapbox, Kay.
Theater is inherently political.
Theater is inherently political.
Art is inherently political.
Yes, and
you and I have a hard time not being political.
Yeah.
So, after the credits, we get taken to Broadway, where we're seeing a red carpet event for an Eleanor Roosevelt musical. The self-gratifying duo playing Eleanor and FDR are Meryl Streep and James Corden, respectively. Their characters tell the reporters about how they're so wonderful as actors, and launch into a song about how actors change lives with how amazing they are. It's just what they do. They can't help it. It's who they are.
Oh my
What they also do is get ripped apart by reviewers who just blast the duo for their heavy-handed performances, and it boils down to no one likes a narcissist.
You know what, though? I sit here and I go, this would be one of the shows that we would be like, give me the bootlegs. You closed it after one night. Give me the bootlegs.
Oh, hell yeah.
It must be preserved.
Oh, hell yeah. I would absolutely watch a FDR Eleanor Roosevelt.
Even if it's bad.
Exactly. How many...
Good, bad, and ugly of theater must be preserved.
Exactly. We have survived some truly, truly terrible shows.
Yes.
We could survive that.
Yes.
And I do love what their manager tells them with some of the reviews. Like, it was like having a syrup-soaked American flag rammed down my throat, you know?
Yes.
Stuff like when the manager is reading the blasting from reviewers, it is so funny. Mm-hmm. It's so
great. The manager was someone who I was surprised. I've not seen Kevin Chamberlain in years. I did not recognize him. That's who played the manager, and I was just like, what the fuck?
Kevin Chamberlain is an actor who exists, and he's in this film. He plays the manager of the Broadway group.
Yes.
And he's funny. Okay, so... So he delivers the sad news that the reviewers do not like our Broadway cast. And the message that boils down to is nobody likes a narcissist, which I wish was the case, but okay, I won't talk about politics even though the arts are inherently political. Okay, I won't do it. Fuck Trump. Okay, now I won't. I'm done. Anyways, after the duo of, oh god, I tried to mash their names together. You know how you get like Benifer and stuff like that?
What did you do?
Gerald Corstreep. So,
have fun with that, babe.
After the duo of Gerald Corstreep get the plethora of bad news and personal attacks from reviewers sick of them, their agent goes to try and change the narrative and hopefully save their careers. The narcissist duo go to do what any Broadway actor would do after a failed show, drown their sorrows at the bar.
Mm-hmm.
The guy from the original run of Book of Mormon who played Elder Price, what's his name?
Andrew Rannells.
I like him.
I do too. He is fun.
He is the bartender who Meryl can't remember, even though they've been in 5 different shows together, and James Corden's character seems to really hate him because Elder Price went to Juilliard and he won't shut up about it. Elder Price explains that he's working as a bartender because he's in between roles and he feels adrift, much like he did before going to Juilliard. And Elder Price continues talking about how his life revolves around the fickle whims of lady theater. Gerald Corstreep are saved from Elder Price by as Nicole Kidman enters the scene with some swaggering hips. Which, you know, Nicole Kidman has aged really well. Mm-hmm. I don't know how old she is, but when she walks in...
She's missing a few feathers, but yeah, she aged well.
Missing a few feathers?
We've seen her this year, too. Happy Feet.
Oh my god, you're right.
Yep.
My smooth brain.
You're fine.
My silky smooth brain.
You are fine.
My non-stick, silky smooth, never needs cleaning brain.
In fact, this episode we have 2 tone deaf alums in it. Because we have Nicole Kidman and Keegan-Michael Key.
This is true. We do.
Mm-hmm. And both are really good.
But I will say,
Key.
I couldn't help but look at her butt when she entered the scene because she has the swagger and hips in that dress.
Yeah, she had a good butt in that dress.
Yeah, she did. Nicole is also down on her luck, and the party of 4 sit around getting drunk. They lament about how they can still be narcissists and pretend to care about other people. They start brainstorming how they can do something important but not too difficult. Nicole finds herself on Twitter and the story of the bigoted school board canceling prom. The principal is all... Oh, actually, it's the principal, because this character is a real pal. He's a good principal.
Played by
Keegan-Michael Key, is all... I'm gonna raise hell with the state legislature, because this is a civil rights case. And the 4 musical narcissists are like, we can go there and raise hell, cause it's in America, and we love attention, and we don't have to go to some third world country and help them dig wells or something. And the Quattro sings about how they're gonna save the day for this little gay girl.
Such a...
The songs and the music in this are, dang it, so when we were done watching it, I had the ending song stuck in my head for a little while, but even though I did like the music, I don't particularly have...
It didn't stick.
Yeah, it didn't stick, and that's not because of my Teflon brain.
Mm-hmm. It's not very catchy. Yeah,
it's good. Like, it's good, and it sounds well, and it's performed well. It just wasn't as catchy as other stuff.
Yeah, like, I'm struggling to keep the I Want to Dance With You song stuck in my head, but it just keeps slipping off, and that's rare for me.
The one song that I do like it's really just the first verse from the song. It sucks to be gay in Indiana.
Yes.
I do like that.
I'm like, oh, you poor girl.
Man, like I said, I can only fathom what it's like to be a gay person, an openly gay person in a red state, with people just treating you like you're an abomination because of who you are.
It fucking sucks.
Okay, cut to said gay girl in high school opening her locker and finding a bigot teddy bear hategram. I don't know, like, I was trying to think of like a teddygram or something like that, because those are a thing, but this is a not nice one.
Yeah, fuck
pink,
those kids.
Yeah, they're two pink bears who are scissoring with one another, and there's a note that says, "My name is Les." And two bitchy cheerleaders walk by, sarcastically thanking Emma for getting prom canceled for being gay. Another cheerleader walking by the other way tells the other two girls to chill out, because they're not in 3rd grade anymore, and she makes eyes at our protagonist. Not sure if she's the secret gay or not, but it's to be determined. Yes, she is.
Yes, she is.
I called it, but it was also hinted at with the way that her and Emma exchange looks. And, yeah.
It still blows my mind that actress is only like 3 years younger than me.
You say she's like 29?
Yeah, she is 29.
I don't know if it's a combination of just her having...
The other girl's 25, but still.
See, I would have thought that Emma was older than her. But black don't crack, man.
It doesn't, and she is because she's Afro Puerto Rican Italian, whereas I'm.
That's a sexy combination.
Yeah, and I'm just like, you're almost the same mix as me. That's awesome.
Yeah, I will say, like, that's the thing. Like, she's incredibly gorgeous and incredibly young looking for 29. I don't know if they did some makeup stuff too to try and make her look more like a high schooler, but holy shit, I bet if she buys alcohol, she probably gets ID'd every time.
She probably goes through the same hell that I do.
Oh god. She probably gets ID'd for rated R movies or something like that, some stupid shit like that.
If I ever meet her, have you ever been ID'd for a PG-13 movie? Same face.
God, I still hate that. Okay.
It's Iron Man. It's not like anything bad's gonna happen in this. Why?
Anyways, teenagers trying too hard at their high school job and tainting our date night aside, our protagonist Emma launches into her intro song about if you can help it, don't be gay in Indiana, which, wasn't Mike Pence governor of Indiana? And wasn't there a AIDS crisis under his governorship? Yeah, fuck him too. Okay,
yeah.
No more politics. Onward. Emma sings about how there are places where it's okay to be gay, like San Francisco, but not Indiana. Emma goes about her day while singing about how unfair it is to be gay in Indiana. She catches some shit from two dude bros who are two dude bro swimmers for being gay, and in gym class she gets pummeled with dodgeballs. Emma goes to her next class and is stopped by the principal, who is like, "Hey, good news. The state attorney thinks that this is a civil rights case and is trying to hype Emma up to stay positive about this." We then see our 4 narcissists on the bus to Indiana, hyping themselves up about how they're such good people doing good work. And Meryl is like, "Oh, this is gonna get me my 3rd Tony." And James reveals his concerns about doing this good work for selfish reasons, because he doesn't want to fail again and prove all of the negative naysayers in his life that they were right to be negative naysayers. And for him pursuing his dreams of being a Broadway diva. Oh, and all the while, the kids on the bus are singing Godspell songs and pissing off James.
I love the Godspell kids.
They are great.
They are fantastic, and I love that it's a touring company of Godspell, just because that's a fun tour. That's a fun show that tours. And they are probably the best the best ensemble characters, or Greek chorus almost, for this, because it's everything that Godspell teaches. Of course they're the perfect group to be doing this, to be there.
And they're really good in the later scene in the mall, which we'll talk about.
And they act exactly like every cast of Godspell I've ever been in. It's so fun, and it's like, we drive other theater people nuts, but it's okay because we're having fun.
An elder Price on the bus is motion sick and puking up his guts, but all in all, the Narcissist Squad are excited to be in the limelight while attempting to do good for poor Emma in Indiana. And there's one thing I forgot to mention. So back in New York, when they were all getting drunk and they first hatched like the plan to go to Indiana and help Emma, Elder Price talks about how he can get Sondheim to write a song for them to perform while they're there to like try and melt the hearts of the homophobes there. Yeah. And he talks about, Sondheim loves my Sweeney Todd kind of thing. And so keep that in mind, because that comes back later. And so from the bus, we cut to a PTA meeting, where Principal Keegan-Michael Key is trying to explain to the bigots that having an inclusive prom is a good idea, and reflects positive American values. One bigot in the crowd says that she will not force her son to go to a homosexual prom. Ugh. I could go on and on and on about how fucking stupid these bigots are, and how having one gay couple at their prom doesn't make it a gay prom. Or hell, even having a 51% gay total of participants doesn't make it a gay prom. That there is enough room for everyone to be represented and included in group activities, and I guess I did just that. Anyways.
You know, they used to, I don't know if they still do it, but they used to do a queer prom in Utah. And it would be at Salt Palace, and my friend Elva went to it. We drove her there one time, but it was one of those things where I didn't find out about it until I was a little too old to go to it, or at least to where I felt I was a little too old, because I could have, but I didn't. I was kind of like, no, and also being around a lot of people.
See, that's the one that gets me.
Is the other thing, because even though it would be people that I would feel very comfortable around, it would still be large groups of people, and
large groups of people.
Unless I'm putting on a mask, I can't do that. Like, social anxiety, ahoy.
Even though we've been to like Comic-Con a few times and we've been in large groups of people and stuff like that, it's something that I can only tolerate in small doses. And it's like drowning in a sea of humanity. Yes. It's the best way I could put it.
If I'm cosplaying, it's a little different because I can dissolve into a character and be okay. But if I'm just me in my street clothes, I feel awkward and uncomfortable and just like...
If you're just K in your K face?
Yeah, if I'm just K in my K face, it's like, no, I'm good. I'm gonna go stand in this corner.
I'm gonna try and move away from people so I can have a bubble.
Mm-hmm. God, that's the most wonderful thing that I hope stays in post-COVID world. I want people to stay 6 feet away from me and no more breathing on me.
What was the thing that we saw before? And it was like, before COVID, I wanted you to stay 6 feet away from me.
Yeah.
All right.
Can't believe I've been letting people breathe on me all this time.
So, we're back in the PTA meeting, and all the townspeople are being assholes about the principal wanting to have an inclusive prom. Mm-hmm. And Emma's yet-to-be-revealed girlfriend tries to explain that, because she's on the student council?
Yeah.
Something like that? Yeah. She tries to explain that prom is a celebration for all students, and her bitch von school board mother shoots it down, trying to shoehorn in something about it being about big government taking away their freedom of choice to discriminate against gay people. See, that's the issue with government, man. Government's always stepping in and telling you who you can and can't have hate crimes against. It's just, why can't government just mind its own business and let me have my hate crimes?
God. I don't want to go on too much of a rant about my anger at that, but
you and I could turn this into a 6-hour episode if we just talked about shit like that.
Yeah, it's there. No one wants to hear me scream.
That's the thing is, like I joke, I'm mostly straight cis white man. Mm-hmm. Didn't really know a lot of gay people growing up, kind of thing. Except in high school, I had a really good friend who was a lesbian in high school, and just. I'm not going to turn this into a 6-hour episode by bitching about people.
Yeah, it especially sucks when you're in a red state.
Anyways,
especially a theocratic red state.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Well, red state tends to kind of imply there's a that's what makes it a red state is more people
ours
like to
is
beat you.
bluntly theocratic.
Ours is very bluntly. They don't even try to hide it.
Somebody send out a box that can fit Warren and I and have it mailed to you outside of the state so that we can escape.
I've seen some of the packages that have arrived. I don't think you and I would survive the journey.
Never mind.
Yeah. Need a lot of bubble wrap.
Yeah.
And we suffocate. That box would be our coffin.
It would be like the ending of Aida.
Are you just talking about...
It would be the same.
Wait, I haven't seen Aida.
No, you haven't.
Okay. God damn it.
By the way, it ends bad.
You don't even want to know what my brain was trying to think.
Were you thinking Evita?
I was thinking Evita. And I was like, well, she's dead at the end. And she's in a glass coffin so people can look at her.
That's funny because the Forbidden Broadway spoof about Aida has a little switch with those.
Oh, man. I am unintentionally hilarious. Anyways, back at the PTA meeting from hell, Principal Key asks the bigots what it is about gay people that frightens them. And right at that moment is when
Before a conversation can happen.
In walks the militant gay agenda from New York to save Emma. And
the worst thing that could happen.
It was
as someone who lives in a red
seriously.
state.
It was pretty great how he's like trying to create a conversation. What is it about gay people that scares you all so much? And then in walks this loud, boisterous, aggressive, in your face group of gay people
talking down to them immediately and stuff. And it's like, unless you're living in it and have been frustrated with it for years.
Liberal coastal elites.
Fuck.
And the narcissist crew launches into a song about how they're going to melt these bigots' hearts and open their minds and convince them that they're wrong. And all the while, every time they're talking down to them, they're just like, we're going to convince you hicks that you're... everything is just... It's almost like someone... I don't know, I guess it's the same way as someone who's like smacking you with their book of choice going... God loves you! Stop being this way!
I had so much sympathetic embarrassment for Emma in that moment.
Yep.
Emma and Alyssa just sort of like, oh, no, don't do this. It's like when someone will step in for me without knowing all of the intricacies if something either anti-trans or anti-bi or anti-black happens. Being like, let me say this. And it's like, no, stop.
You're gonna make it worse.
It's gonna get worse. Stop.
It happens in slow motion. You're just, That sound wave looks like a dick.
It kind of does. That's delightful.
With a really fucked up head. Anyway.
The new cyberware. Metal dick.
Oh, okay.
Now with spikes.
Oh, God. Now with more prongs. The song ends with the parents escorting their children away from the scary gay singers and performers.
Complete with the Godspell kids backing them up.
That's right, because like as soon as the gay agenda walks, I'm going to refer to them as that, the gay agenda. As soon as they walk in and they're like very boisterous, and they're holding signs and stuff, they're like, we're here to save Emma and blah, 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 blah. And like the Godspell kids are immediately springing into action. They're like going behind the crowd. They're like setting up lights and stuff to prepare for the musical number, which I will say that musical number was great.
That was.
Like Meryl Streep kills it.
She does a good job pretending to be Patti LuPone.
Yeah, which she really does, and it's
like even the haircut.
There are a lot of theater
references.
I'm trying to think of like theater life and theater.
Yes.
But like, because I don't know much of Patti LuPone other than the few things that I've seen her sing or sing her reference. I don't know her to the extent that you do, of course. Really anything.
And I don't know her to the extent of like Patti LuPone fangirls know her.
Got you. But you at least knew enough to know that her character was based on Patti LuPone.
At least that's what I took from it, because I'm just like, that looks like she's trying to be Patti LuPone. Which, I mean, I would have preferred Patti LuPone, but I'll take Meryl Streep. Just don't try to get an Oscar for this one. That's all I'm asking.
And yes, so but that song and dance number at the during the PTA meeting was pretty great. The song ends with the parents escorting their children away from the scary gay singers and performers. Bitch Von School Board yells at Principal Hawkins, who's Keegan-Michael Key, for not doing anything to stop the gays. And she marches off with her. Pretty sure she's okay. Some of these notes. Yeah, I wrote these notes before we knew for sure that her daughter was gay. So yes, she marches off with her closeted gay daughter. Meryl Streep gets stopped by Principal Key Hawkins, who is like, "I am a huge fan. I love you." And the two shoot the shit about Meryl's theater career before Principal Key asks her and the other gays to please not start a riot in their town, because this is a delicate situation. And Meryl is like, "We will burn this town to the ground if we have to in order to show these hicks that gays are not scary." And that was
again, the whole time it's like, no, exactly, you're gonna make it worse.
Exactly, they are being like the scariest version of what these people are afraid of when it comes to gay people. I mean, the only thing that would make it scarier is if they were, if it was the Village People with an army of dildos and they're just smacking people in the faces with...
that would be the only thing that would have sent them completely over the edge.
Like, how dare you tell Emma she can't bring her girlfriend, you bitch!
I sit here and go, this is 100% the worst way to handle things.
Oh, and the thing I forgot to mention, Kerry Washington plays
the mom.
Plays the mom. I refer to her as Bitch Von School Board because she's
Bitch Von School Board.
Because she's Bitch Von School Board. And this is the first time I have not liked Kerry Washington. And
it was a weird experience.
It was a weird experience because I like her. I like her a lot. I think she's great. And
it's not that we didn't like her acting.
Her character.
Her character. Her character was a monster.
Which... That's always that's always a good sign for an actor is when I like them and they can make me hate them. Because that's just like, man, you're good.
Also didn't know that she could sing until just now.
Yeah. Okay, onward. And under the bleachers, Emma meets her girlfriend, and it's Bitch Von School Board's daughter. Called it! But it was definitely hinted at. Anyways, Alyssa and Emma sing about how they just want to be able to be in public and not be afraid. The song is short and sweet and kinda ends sad because Alyssa runs off to her mom as she pulls up in a car, and Emma is left alone to finish the song with a sad, sad tone to it. And that was one of the first points that kind of made me go, huh? Because her mom, I mean, the distance wasn't so hard. Like, her mom could probably tell that was Emma.
Yeah.
So that it'd be like, what are you doing, talking to her kind of thing, or associating with her. And I'm sure Alyssa was able to be like, well, I'm student council, and I'm, just talking to her.
I'm a good person, mother.
I'm a good person, mother. I'm sure it was something along those lines, but But at the same time, it's like, don't hang out with gays. They'll turn you gay, because that's how gay works. It's like COVID. That you have to stay 6 feet away from a gay and wear a mask, because if a gay breathes on you, you're going to catch the gay.
That would require them to believe in masks.
This comes from Utah, which is one of the smallest fucking states per populace and has one of the hardest fucking...
I am so frustrated. What is the outside world like?
I don't know. I go to Walmart to get groceries because it's close and they have a mandatory mask thing. And even then, I still see people take off their masks because they're fucking assholes. Anyways.
I do feel for Alyssa, though. Hardcore. I'm just like this poor kid.
Especially later on when you get to learn more about Alyssa's backstory. That's probably the thing that hit you the hardest.
Yes.
Because you have some big, heavy... identify feels with Alyssa. Just very similar.
So it was
very similar stuff.
It was very much a punch in the heart. Every scene with her, but especially later on, it was like, oh no.
Yeah. So when
fuck you, movie.
Yeah, when Kay talks about that, the show wrecked them for a couple of days. It wrecked them for a couple of days.
Yeah, it was bad. It was Rachel. It was Rachel all over again.
Yeah. When you read that for Black History Month last year. No, this year.
This year. 2020's been so long. It's been 10 years. Yes. No, it's been 11 and a half years, because every year is a month. Just got to cram a whole month into there.
That's a nice fisting motion you got going on.
Yeah. Take it, 2020.
Good audio medium.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just use your imagination, listeners. Just imagine Kay fisting an imaginary asshole.
I wasn't fisting it right, so.
I was gonna say, well, you're punching Donald Trump in the face, but he's a very real asshole.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, political. Anyways, meanwhile.
Last time I saw an animal with an anus for a face, it was a sea cucumber at the aquarium, so.
He's a very exclusive offshoot of humanity. Double-anused human. Homo double anus. Homo sapiens double anus?
Homo sapiens duo ani.
There you go. See, Kay took Latin. Meanwhile, the Narcissist Squad, which I'm going to try and remember to change that. Meanwhile, the gay agenda shows up to their hotel and are not thrilled with the small town's offerings of hospitality. Meryl tries to star charm her way into getting a suite that doesn't exist, and James wants a cabin because he's worried about being murdered. Seems like a little counterproductive to me. I would think that a cabin would be scarier.
Yeah.
You're removed,
cabin is where you get murdered.
Yeah, exactly. That was my thought, too.
Unless he's thinking of something more like when rich people glamp. And do I'm going to rent out a cabin that's in this nice area that's a resort.
See, do you remember, did any of your schools ever have portables?
No.
Okay.
Because they were always too small, because Lutheran. So,
the district that I went to elementary school, Jordan School District, one of the poorest school districts in the Salt Lake Valley, the elementary school was really, really old. And so they did that thing where they have too many students, and so they have to erect tiny little houses outside of the big school, and that's where some teachers have classrooms.
I always saw them, but never went into one.
You can feel the floor
ooh.
It reminds me a bit of when you see a wrestling ring and how it wobbles.
Ooh.
You can feel that. But yeah, so that was a portable, and I think that's kind of what he's saying when you have a cabin. Do you have a room that's removed from the rest of the building? Which, like I said, I feel like that would be.
That's how you get killed.
Yeah, you're removed. Nobody can hear you scream. There's no neighbors to be keep it down.
Yeah. No. Also, I love that they're putting out their Tonys and Drama Desk Awards. Yeah. Which I'm that implies that they're carrying that shit around with them all the time.
Which I love that diva aspect about Meryl. Because that was the thing when she's oh, do you have a suite? We don't have any suites here. And boom, puts her Tony down. How about now? He's we still don't have a suite. Boom, second Tony. Now?
I am slightly annoyed, though, because a character in the series that I'm trying to write does something similar with his Medal of Honor. So, I'm a little annoyed.
Yeah. 100 Monkeys thing,
I got a Medal of Honor!
Yeah, I can see that with a purple heart, too. It's now do you have a table?
His are all fake, but he doesn't know that.
That's fantastic. Oh, okay, and now I know who you're talking about.
You know who I'm talking about.
It took me a moment, and then I was okay.
I got a Medal of Honor! I got a Medal of Honor!
I saved the president. Yes. So a cabin would be a bad idea. That would be easier to get murdered at. Anyways, the concierge shoots down their hopes of more prestigious accommodations one by one, making a willpower check against the narcissist's charm effects, and eventually they must fall back and regroup. Elder Price is forced to deliver the bad news that Sondheim will not be helping them out because it turns out he hates his Sweeney Todd. And instead, Elder Price wrote his very own song that they will be singing to try and sway the hearts and minds of these small-town folk. The group's manager rushes in, excited to inform them that he has a venue for them to perform at, with a guaranteed attendance of 2,500 people. And it's not a theater or a concert hall. It's an arena, like a sports arena. And the narcissist gang is like, what kind of arena? Vroom, 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 vroom. Goes the monster truck in the next scene as we find out exactly what kind of arena it is. As the vroom vroom stops, the announcer says that the scheduled halftime entertainment of... Oh god, I love the way he does this. Our scheduled halftime event of Truckosaurus, the truck-eating dinosaur, will not be brought to you for halftime. Instead, some liberal arts degree holding pro-queer performers will be singing a song about tolerance instead. To a booing crowd. We don't get to see the entire scene, which is good, because they were dying on stage on that dirt hill.
Which I love. Again, the Godspell kids are just all in on it.
Elder Price is the one who's singing the song, and he's got the gospel kids as his backup for it. And
it is the most talked down song.
It really is. It is. He may as well have been up there going, now I know you idiots don't understand words, but I'm gonna tell you.
Do you understand? Gay people are people like you. Yes, you are people. Gay people are people too.
But put it to some music.
Yeah.
And I feel like if they, when they release this on DVD, that's probably going to be a scene that is extended, or they probably have it as a deleted scene, because they probably performed the whole thing.
Yeah.
They just cut it short for the theatrical version, because it is, I would say, I
would hope it's a whole song in the stage version.
I hope it is too, and I do hope that if we see this on DVD with like a full version of that scene, I hope that it just amps up, because they're being booed while he's singing this song.
And Patty LaStreep is taking the stage to do her big solo.
And then it basically cuts back to the apartment, and they're all just like, fuck you, that was the worst thing ever. I hate you. We're gonna kill you. Which, oh my god, that actually, I forgot to mention that. So when Elder Price delivers the news that Sondheim will not be making a song for them to perform, immediately Meryl Streep's character is like, you screwed us, Tom, or whatever his name is.
Price?
Yeah. Cut to the lounge of the hotel, where the gay agenda are talking about sending Elder Price to his maker before fleeing town with their tails between their legs. They don't care at all about helping Emma. Oh, Emma! Hey, Emma! And Principal Key are here to say that because of the activists and the Indiana State Legal Team, the prom is back on. Yay!
Mostly the Indiana State Legal Team.
Yes. And once James finds out that Emma was planning on wearing a vintage suit and high tops to her prom, he guzzles a bottle of wine and instead begs her to let him dress her for the prom. She agrees reluctantly, and they start planning about shopping at the fanciest store in town, Kmart. Woo! I love how he's inquiring, like, oh, do you have a this
Saks Avenue?
this boutique, and she's like, we have a Kmart, and they just go, okay, well, we'll go shop the blah 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 line at Kmart, and like he just, stereotypically, he's a gay man, he knows all the lines, all the fashion.
When he tries to camp up, it's not. You can tell it's a straight guy playing a gay guy.
It's like, yeah, it's...
You can really tell.
I understand. So the stereotype of the overly flamboyant gay man exists because there are overly flamboyant gay men.
Absolutely.
I feel like if you're gonna be an overly flamboyant gay man, it really should be played by a gay guy
who is overly flamboyant. It will not read authentically and will instead read almost a mockery.
And I know, yeah, I still hold a wee bit of a grudge against him for Cats.
That too. But
his
Buster for Jones, man.
James Corden's acting of the gay character in this, I feel like it kind of fluctuated.
Yeah, I only liked his character during the serious moments.
Oh, his serious moments were so good.
Yeah, they're
Holy
amazing,
shit.
And it's like, where was this?
See, like, seriously, when I talk about we'll talk about it later when we get to that scene, but he has a really serious moment that's one of the ones that almost, that got me a little choked up.
Yeah.
Because his acting, he brings so much emotion to it, and it's so convincing, and I'm just like, damn, James.
Yeah.
But then when he's doing the...
Yeah. The only reason I know his character's name, which was Barry,
Yeah.
is because of A, Barry goes to the prom, and B, Barry Blue Jeans. Because my brain, every time I hear that name, it instantly goes there.
Well, I mean, okay, let's see if I can actually recall what their character names were. Meryl Streep was Dee Dee Allen.
Yes, Dee Dee Allen.
James Corden was Barry Glickman. Elder Price, I want to say he was Tom.
Yes,
Tom
maybe.
something. That's it? I don't got any more?
I don't remember Nicole Kidman's name.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah, it's just Barry Glickman and Dee Dee Allen are the only two. And that's also because I have people or characters whose names I can easily snag onto with theirs.
Oh, and Nicole Kidman's character is a chorus girl.
Yes, and she is fantastic.
And that's the thing she talks about. She's been a chorus girl forever. Like, that's what she does. She's a dancer.
Her dream is to go on stage as Roxy Hart in Chicago.
Which is a show that we
have
also
not covered yet.
But yeah, so that will probably make more sense to me when we do cover that show.
It will, especially her movements are... She is a Fosse girl. She is an absolute Fosse girl, and I love her.
Okay, Kmart. Woo!
Woo, Kmart, my mart.
Oh my gosh, that's right. You own that whole brand.
I own that whole brand.
Why are we living here?
I own Kmart. Why? Well, because I own Kmart.
Oh yeah, and they're going under.
Oh.
Yeah.
There's one here. If that. Oh no, it's been converted to something else.
I was gonna say the only one that I know of shut down a while ago. The one that was up by your mom's house. Anyway, James and Emma go off, and the other members of the gay agenda leave to get day drunk. Meryl flirts with Principal Key, who thanks her for trying to help Emma. He gives her some exposition that Emma was thrown out of her house for being gay at the age of 16, and Meryl kind of gets oh, this really isn't all about me. There's someone else who's experiencing pain. Anyways,
yeah.
That moment dies quickly as she begs Principal Key to take her to Applebee's, since it's the fanciest place in town.
Apples and bees.
And, yeah, because she's basically is like inquiring, is there any restaurant here that has cutlery and plates, stuff like that? He's like, there's an Applebee's by the mall. Take me there.
Yes.
Love is in the air.
We're all out of apples. I'll have your bees. One of my favorite Twitter posts.
See, and my brain just thinks about biting into an apple that's full of live bees.
Oh, Jesus!
Right? Oh,
God!
That's some mind hell for anybody who has an active imagination.
I can see it. Oh.
Love is in the air, Kay. It's promposal day, and we see all the different students asking each other to prom. Typical stuff, things like the popular jocks asking the popular girls to the prom, and then we get a nice quiet moment of Emma and Alyssa in the gym, being excited about prom. Emma more so than Alyssa, who seems to have way more fear about what her mom will think when she sees her with another woman. The two start to sing and dance about how this is for them, and that they don't need to be afraid as long as they have each other. But two bitchy popular girls see them, and scowl, and then march off, surely to do bad things in future scenes. Oh, I realize that they're the cheerleaders from the earlier scene, and that they realize that one of their own is gay.
And all I can sit here and think of is that we watched Carrie the night before.
Oh my God.
And so the whole movie, I'm just like, Prom is just cursed.
It's so, oh my god, it was so funny. So another side tangent. We celebrated my sister's birthday, and she wanted to watch spooky movies that she hasn't seen, and so we watched what was the first
The
one?
Lighthouse.
Yeah, we watched The Lighthouse, which is an interesting art house flick. Definite mindfuck. And then we
and fish fuck.
Yeah, and fish fuck. And then we watched, they saw how popular The Shape of Water was, so but and then we watched Carrie, the original Carrie movie, because my sister hadn't seen that, and all my sister had seen was she just knew references to the final scene of the movie, and so we watched that, and that was just hilarious that has the murder fest at prom, and then the very next
completely justified murder
fest from prom, and then we watched this, and I just kept thinking to myself, if anybody deserves psychic powers, it's this gay girl.
Yes, she deserves them.
Oh, but anyways, back at the Bee of Apples, Principal Key is talking about how much he loves theater and swooning over Meryl.
I love this song.
It's good. It is good. When who should walk in but Bitch Von School Board and one of her lackeys, who tell Meryl that she should stick to acting instead of activism, because she's ruining their small community by being all gay-friendly. Anyways, they march off, leaving Principal and Meryl to their meal, and the two are flirting, and Meryl asks Key something she's never asked anyone before. Tell me something about yourself. No, tell me about yourself. She did such a good job of playing a very conceited person, you know? Key reveals that he's just a theater-loving educator, and he's single. Just throwing that out there. Meryl says she's also single. Well, divorced. And she talks about her parts and how... Wait. And she talks about her She talks about her parts. These are my knees. These are my eyes. This is my chin.
I thought you were saying parts as in, like, acting roles, so I'm just going, okay, yeah.
Yeah, you took it in a logical way, and I just laughed. Anyway, she's talking about her past and how she's a small-town girl who grew up poor and had a big dream, and so she moved to the big city and made it in Broadway. She confides in Key that she's thought about quitting theater recently, and Key is all, "No! I need you to do what you do! I love theater, and I love you, and I love theater, and I love you, and you help us to heal from to escape and heal from our daily tedium, but in song form.
We look to you." That's one of my favorite songs in the whole show.
It's, so Principal Key in this part, he's talking about how he tries to get away. I guess logically it would be the summer, because school's out for the summer. And he tries to go to New York every year and see as many Broadway shows as he can. And, I forgot about the when he and Meryl first run into each other at the school, and he's talking about how he's a fan. She's like, "Oh, you're not my usual demographic," and he's like, "What, black?" And she's like, "No, straight."
Yeah,
you are straight. And he's like, "Yeah, well,
straight people like
theater too." And she's like, "Huh, news to me."
Yeah,
kind of thing.
Lord.
But yeah, and so it's a really cute scene, and his song is pretty good. I do think Keegan-Michael Key can sing. I think his songs are best when they're, because it's the same thing as in Jingle Jangle. His stuff is best when it's not. He's not a belter,
No, he is not a belter.
When he has more quiet songs, he does a really good job.
Yeah.
And this one's actually a really cute song because it shows, him going to Broadway and seeing all these different shows, and specifically seeing her shows. Over the moon. Seeing her shows. Like, he talks about he's seen tons of performances that she's been in because he just loves her.
And I love that song too because it does encapsulate why theater's important. Like, it's a release for the audience too. Not just for the actor. It's this mutual exchange between the two.
The argument could be made that it's the same, for people who do any activity that they like, same for going to a movie. Some people like to go to a movie because, it's escapism, it's entertainment, stuff like that. Theater, it's a little bit more personal because you're in the room with, the people who are performing it. And, And
the energy's different that way. It's a very different energy. It can be electric. It can also not be, because you can have a show land flat.
And the one thing that was interesting about that was it ties into the first song of the show where they're talking about how important actors are and how they inspire people and they do all this, and you're kind of like, man, these blowhard narcissists are so full of themselves. And then Meryl meets Key and he's like, oh my god, I love you, my world revolves around you, I need you, and it just kind of adds more justification to their feelings of self-importance from the earlier scene.
It also, though, gives her an actual she needs the audience too, and it's sort of that reminder that, oh, there's someone who cares about what I do, and that's enough to start her character growth.
Yes, I was gonna say start.
It does not end until her character growth takes a while, but
it continues.
It continues and probably continues after the show.
Yes. Speaking of which, I think it's time we take a small commercial break to thank the amazing people who help support our show.
Yes, let us take a brief intermission, and we'll be right back with not really Act 2, but sort of Act 2 of The Prom. Let's go!
Woo!
And I'll pause it. Hey, Warren.
Hey, Kay.
Do you know what time it is?
Is it time to thank our favorite people in the whole world?
Heck yeah! Today, we would like to thank our stage crew sponsor, Jasmine Wu,
and our producer circle sponsors, Bianucci, Reagan, and Taylor Brandt.
Thank you all so much for your support of our show.
We truly appreciate it.
Many hundreds of years ago, in the faraway land of the North, there dwelt a special kind of magic. The magic of imagination. And nowhere did this light shine brighter than in the heart of a kindly toy maker named Nicholas Kringle. The toy maker loved children, most of all his own son, whom he named Chris. But the land was ruled by a wicked snow queen.
You cannot escape from me, toy maker's son.
I assure you, young Master Kringles, we elves are very real, and we shall teach you to make toys which will bring happiness to children all over the world.
Young Santa Claus and the Winter Solstice. Written and directed by Patrick and Paul Gibbs.
Are you tired of Harry Potter? Want to get in on the next popular trend in young adult lit from 10 years before Harry Potter? Too bad. I'm Tyler.
I'm Nate.
And we're going to do a week-by-week analysis of the Animorphs.
Book reports.
90s nostalgia.
Two dumb idiots.
Wherever you get your podcasts.
And now, the lights are going down and the music's starting back up, so let's head back to the second act of our show.
Thank you again to our wonderful patrons. Back to the show, Kay. Meanwhile, let me set the stage for you, Kay. Look at me, see? Look. See these hands? See these hands?
What are you doing?
I don't know. Meanwhile, James is at Emma's house, where she lives with her grandmother, who gives James an alcoholic Indiana lemonade, and James announces that Emma's grandmother is the coolest grandmother in the world. James inquires what happened with Emma, and the grandmother tells us what we already know. Emma's family kicked her out. I'm just glad that Emma had a grandmother who was not a bigoted bitch.
That's lucky. That's very lucky.
Emma shows James her only dress, and it's something that looks like it would be right out of a Shakespeare festival, or Little House on the Prairie, as James puts it. James begs Emma to let him take her shopping for the prom, and the two go to the mall.
I love the comment, though, that the grandmother makes of, like, you don't know how it feels being a mother watching your child reject their own child.
Yep, you have being a mother watching your child reject their own child.
Yeah.
Just, like, and that, the grandmother is so good in this. Like,
she's amazing.
She's not in it a whole lot, but her scenes are good. And just that heavy moment where just she's just in denial, not in denial, but just she's still processing it, because she's somebody, she because with her, she obviously loves her grandchild no matter what. She took her in, and she's just sitting here going, from her perspective, she's probably thinking, I would never have kicked out your mother. I never would have kicked out your mother. How can your mother kick you out?
She's probably going, how did I go wrong? Because I obviously didn't teach my kid.
Maybe. I didn't even consider that. She might be feeling like her getting kicked out is her fault because she failed in raising her daughter to be the kind of person who wouldn't kick out their fucking child for being gay. Oh god damn it. That reminds me of... So way back when I was a teenager, a dad's ex-girlfriend that we were living with, her daughter had a friend who was gay. And I remember one time him coming over being really upset because his mom kicked him out.
Fuck.
And he was just destroyed, kind of thing. And it was the thing is like, the thing, I think if I'm recalling correctly, what it was is that he had been out for a while, but his mom had been completely negative and passive aggressive, and if I'm remembering correctly, she was treating it like, oh, you'll grow out of this. This is just a phase. You'll grow out of this. And then they had a fight because he was like, I'm not gonna just grow out of this kind of thing. And then she had kicked him out.
Fuck.
Yeah. But luckily I knew he wasn't homeless or anything. He ended up going to live with his mother's sister. So his aunt, but I can't. It was a relative. He was living with them, but just. And then I had heard later on he ended up moving back in with his mom. Like, I think it was just like an outburst. And they were gone for a little bit, and then the mom came to her senses and was probably like,
hopefully,
this is my child,
Yeah.
Granted, this was a long time ago, and I don't know how he's doing now, unfortunately. But I just remember being a teenager when that happened, and just thinking to myself, how does somebody... Like, how do you do that? How do you kick out your child?
I don't know.
How do you kick out your...
It's so fucked up.
Short of being a serial rapist and murderer, I can't think of anything that could make me not love... I don't have children. But, the closest thing I have, I'm 10 years older than my sister. And I help, take care of her and raise her. I couldn't think of anything that would make me not care about her. It's just baffling to me. Okay. That... depressing note aside.
Yeah. That also is where we get James Corden's first strings of character development with how he brings up the...
That's right.
Yeah, that
right.
He feels... He understands how Emma feels.
He understands how Emma feels, and the grandmother asks, like, you got kicked out too? And he says, I left before they could kick me out. So, yeah.
Whew.
Yeah. Which that is also really hard, just leaving home because
you just know,
or at least you're afraid, of the potential for it. Just
yep.
Unless Kay and I have not made it explicitly clear, and I doubt anybody listening to our show is a homophobe, but being gay is okay.
Yeah,
you're fine to be gay. You are who you are. Be true to yourself. As long as you're not, a rapist and a murderer, you're a good person.
Yeah.
Just doing your thing.
Don't eat people. That's all that.
Jeffrey Dahmer, man. That's what they're afraid the gay agenda is.
That's a dude that is like how. Anyway, we're not a true crime podcast.
He would have been eating people even if he wasn't gay.
Yeah,
being gay didn't make him eat people.
No, that was being Jeffrey Dahmer made Jeffrey Dahmer. Hi.
Hey, Steven.
Wow.
He's like, hey, baby, I see your lap is empty.
You're recording, and so you need to know that I'm on your lap.
Your audience loves cats, and they need to know that their favorite orange boy is here.
Yeah, it's Community Cat. Community Cat is here to drool on you.
He just loves you. It's so cute.
I'm
oh my
not
God.
Even your cat.
The way he looks at you, though. He's like, I may not be your cat, but you're my babe.
Yeah.
And Lottie's excited that Steven's here.
Yeah, he doesn't like when you open your mouth in his face.
Reminds me of when she's put his head in her mouth, almost like, I wonder if I can fit his head in my mouth.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Anyways, Emma and James are gonna go maul it. Woo! Oh, and the two bitchy cheerleader girls are dolling up and bitching about Emma almost ruining prom for them. And they tell each other that they're so hot. Oh, you're so hot, I would do you. I would do yourselves. We would do each other because we're just so hot, but not
But
gay.
it's not gay.
But it's not gay.
It's not gay.
And then, of course, made me think of Silence of the Lambs. Would you do me? I would do me.
God.
I would do me so hard. Yet another movie that makes people, that kind of turns...
yeah, oh, that movie
trans people
was
into...
the worst... Well, and also, Ed Kemper was... That's who he's based on, basically, and it's... Wait, was it Ed Kemper? Who's the guy that wore...
Made a suit out of people?
Yeah, there was a dude that actually did do that.
God,
I think
it
was Ed Kemper.
That's so fucked up.
I'd have to look at Time Suck again to see, but yeah.
Well, not wearing people. You know who's not wearing people in this show? Alyssa.
Anybody.
Nah, fair. Nobody wears other people in this. But specifically, right now, for the point of my note, is Alyssa, who at home is trying to tell her mom what is going to happen at prom. And because she tells her, she's like, Mom, you need to know what's going to happen tonight. And Bitch Von School Board is like, no, I've worked too hard to make sure this prom is good for me, too. And Alyssa senses that her mom is trying to sabotage Emma in some way, and Bitch Von School Board sings that she's a problem solver and she doesn't like it when little problems get in her way. And I'm trying to remember the comment she made specifically. She's like, you know, things are going to go great tonight. I've made sure of that kind of thing. And she's like, what are you doing?
At first I thought that it was that she set her up with a guy. That was where I thought it was going. Was that she was just being oblivious, like, oh, she doesn't have a boyfriend yet, but I'll make sure she does. And instead it was worse.
Yeah.
Instead it's much worse. And honestly, the whole prom prep scene just kept reminding me of Carrie. Like, I kept thinking back on Carrie the whole time. I'm just like, oh god.
It's the most bizarre movie to watch before you watch a prom musical, is to watch Carrie.
I mean, we could have watched Carrie the musical, but...
Oh god, that would be great to do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Everyone's excited and horny. Plotting prom song ends with Emma pulling up in her pickup truck, and James showing off her prom outfit to the other, members of the gay agenda, who insist that it's just the right amount of girly. Emma asks James to walk her in, because she's still nervous, and she goes to meet up with Alyssa in the gym. As they enter, no one is there, and Principal Key finds out that Bitch Von School Board and the other bigots organized 2 proms, one for all the other kids at the Elks Lodge, and this one just for Emma.
So fucked up.
We see Alyssa's mom divulging the plan to her at the Elks Lodge when they arrive, and the bitchy cheerleaders are like, we did you a favor by lying to you because you're a gay. And, yeah, they did the whole thing of like, you're gonna thank us later. Like, we did this for your own good.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Fucking...
And James tries to rally the troops to march in on the other prom, and Emma tells them to stop, that this is already the worst day of her life. And it's extra sad. I left this out of the note, but I'm because I, scrambling for time, but it's extra sad in this part because Emma calls Alyssa to be like, what's going on, what's happening, and then Alyssa is like,
I swear I didn't know.
I swear I didn't know. It's the other 2 girls, they found out about us and they lied to me about this. They kept it from me. And then Emma's like, well, come here. Mm-hmm. Come be with me here. Like, leave. And Alyssa's like, I can't.
Well, and it's kind of implied Alyssa didn't drive there.
Yeah.
So she could be like me and not have driven until 23. I
mean, maybe.
So it could be that she just physically cannot get there.
True. That's true. She didn't say that, but that is a logical
especially because her mom says she's driving her to the prom, so that keeps her from
then again,
going anywhere.
It would have been interesting if Emma had said, well, what if I can pick you up? And
Yeah.
then to see what...
That would have solved everything.
Maybe. Because I think that Alyssa still would have said no.
It probably would have given her an out to get out of there, because then it would have been like, no, this is wrong. This isn't what she could have even... Okay, this is me being like, if I was in this situation because I read the Bible, then it would have been, this isn't what Jesus would have wanted. I'm going to go be with my friend.
Yeah, there you go. I'm going to go love thy neighbor.
I'm going to go love my neighbor so hard.
Oh, man. You know what? You know what, Kay? You're my neighbor. We're right next to each other.
We are right next to each other.
I love my neighbor.
Yeah.
You know who else loves you? This little orange drooling asshole.
Yeah. I don't think he's drooling too hard.
I'm sorry I called you an asshole, Steven. You're not an asshole.
You're a cute boy.
But you are moving in on my non-binary pal.
Yeah.
Fluff boy. We then see Bitch Von School Board giving a press statement the next day, saying that they did that shitty thing because Emma wouldn't be safe at the normal person prom because her lifestyle offends some people. That was one of the weakest bits of...
And that's an argument folks make.
Yeah.
And it's so infuriating.
It's such a piss poor argument to make that, oh, you won't be safe there because we can't control people from hurting you because you're gay.
Yeah.
It's the same argument you get where, like with victim blaming with rape, like, oh, well, what was she wearing? Oh, you're just asking for it. It's like, no, it's up to the responsibility of the person with the dick to keep it in their pants and not force it on somebody. It's the same thing. If you have a problem with somebody who's gay, doesn't mean you get to violently assault them. I really don't like Trump supporters. I have yet to this day done any harm against any of them, and I see someone in a red hat, I don't hit them in the head with a fucking bat, even though
Inner Warren wants to.
Inner really Warren hard. Really wants to. No more politics.
Steven's just, his ears are like, they're talking Trump again.
That or
harder.
I'm also yelling over his head, and he's like, dude, like, not cool.
He's purring harder.
But yeah, during the Bitch Von School Board's press conference thing, Emma is watching the shit show on her laptop, and she closes it in frustration. Nicole has apparently been hanging out with her for the last few days and keeping her company. Emma thanks her for being a good friend. James and Meryl and the other narcissists show up to be like, we're gonna raise hell. We need to get Emma in front of a camera to tell her story. This bigotry needs to end. And Emma is like, no, I can't. Please just go away. And Nicole tells the others to, come on, go, leave. Leave me alone with her. I know what I'm doing. And Nicole tells the others to leave them alone. Nicole and Emma hang out eating ice cream, and Emma is like, I know I need to do something, but I'm too scared. And Nicole tells Emma that she needs to find her zazz. And she sings to Emma and helps her find her inner spotlight so that she has the courage to do what's necessary.
That song was so great.
And she does it with the Fosse dancing, and they talk about how she's a Fosse girl.
And I love how she starts telling the story of, the third cover for Roxy Hart. And Emma's like, oh, was that you? Honey, I'm not that old. That was 1975.
And one thing I do like there's a great part in that scene too where she's talking about the thought of being in public and talking and telling her story. And she's like, I can't do that. Like, look, my hands are shaking just thinking about it. And Nicole's
turn them into jazz hands.
Your hands are shaking? Turn them into jazz hands.
Someday I'll do a whole thing on Fosse for you, because it's a really good song because of that.
Well, there definitely are things about that song that I didn't get because me, but I did catch enough of it because you talked a lot about Fosse with
Pippin.
Pippin, as well as wasn't he West Side Story too?
No, that was Jerome Robbins.
Oh, why? What is it? Just Pippin that I've seen him in? I know he's a very...
He is. I'm trying to think of well-known Fosse shows. Oh,
bye, Steven.
Look at that.
Did he not drool on you?
He didn't drool on me. Good
Good boy, Steven.
Good boy. This is a momentous occasion.
he
Pop some
drooled-
champagne.
He drooled on you this morning. We don't
Yes,
have any
he
champagne.
did. I wish. But I'm trying to remember what else we had with Fosse choreography. Because I can't remember if Damn Yankees did or not.
Anyways.
But, yeah, we'll talk more about sort of why his movements are so characteristic when we cover him later, because there actually is a reason he choreographed the way he did.
Well, isn't the thing, too, is like his stuff is very sexual.
It is. It is.
Because if he did Chicago, I know Chicago is about chorus girls.
But
and
it's
stuff
also,
like that, and chorus girls dance sexy.
Yeah. It's also, though, some of the movements are because of physical limitations he had.
Oh.
And we'll go deeper into that when we talk Fosse, but...
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yes.
Interesting. So you have a very iconic dance style because of your own limitations.
Yeah.
So for me, that would involve a lot of white boy shuffling and not a whole lot of bending of the knees.
Like his is very much he definitely has a thumbprint on his choreography more so than a lot of other choreographers do.
Gotcha. So it's kind of thing that you probably can just recognize Fosse by the dance. Just be like, that looks like a Fosse thing.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Sounds good. Meanwhile, James and Meryl are wearing weird face masks and watching rom-coms. Meryl talks about the movie they're watching and how it was the first date that she had with her ex, and how she picked up the tab their entire marriage. He cheated and lied and crushed her tiny little blueberry heart, and James tells her to put on a cute little number and march down to Principal Key like the bad, bad girl that she is. Meryl is like, Does he like me? Does he really, really like me? And James is like, yes, queen! And then Meryl tries to poke James's gay heart by being like, you've yet to reconcile with your parents. You should call them. And James breaks down and cries and is like, no! And Meryl confronts him before heading down to flirt with Principal Key, who is like, I don't like you anymore. You're a selfish opportunist who didn't really come to help Emma, just to get good PR for yourself. Now go away. And the two have a fight about how she's not the person he thought she was, and he thought she was like her character in Swallow the Moon.
Yes, Swallow the Moon, not Over the Moon.
And Meryl is like, and you're just a teacher from a hick town who can't tell the difference between fantasy and reality. And she storms out of the principal's office, but stops. And decides to win Key over with the power of music. The very music from Key's favorite show of hers, Swallow the Moon. And she sings to him to not give up on her yet. The song works and convinces Key, who is like, okay, that got to me. And he agrees to take her to Bees and Apples to try and teach her how to be a good person. It's a pretty good scene, so, kind of a two-part. I kind of mushed the two together because, Barry and Dee Dee are doing, was it rom-com Fridays, rom-com Thursdays, something like that?
Something like that.
Rom-com day. And
using those infrared masks.
Yeah, infrared masks and doing beauty treatments and stuff, and they're watching rom-coms, and that's when she's talking about her divorced, spouse, and her ex-husband is one of those like late night comedians who has a popular show, and but he had nothing the entire time that they were together, and it wasn't until after they got divorced that all of a sudden he blew up.
Yeah.
And then she goes down to the school to talk to Key and stuff, but he had it revealed to to him that they were there for PR, they don't really care. And so he was like very disillusioned. He's like, I thought you were somebody you're not, and she's like, well, who did you think I was? Well, I thought you were like your character kind of thing. And, and I do love when she's singing to him to try and get back into his good graces, and he's like, it's not going to work. I'm not a fan of yours anymore. Kind of thing. And then it ends and he's just like, okay, that got, he's just, I just love how he breaks down. He's just, God damn it, that was good.
And I love the whole, you know, an apology like this would have cost.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's just like, you can't be charging for apology.
That's what he goes into. He's talking about how she's so self-centered and full of herself kind of thing. He's like, you don't charge for an apology. Like, being a good person is doing something for somebody without expecting anything in return. And she's just, I love watching Meryl Streep's character just like wrestling with this concept of doing something pro bono, you know? And that's when he agrees to take her, you know, somewhere, take her to lunch, you know, in order to teach her how to be a good person kind of thing. And I love when he's like, okay, we can go to lunch. And she's like, bees and apples?
Yes.
And he holds out his arm and she takes his arm and they walk out. And it's really cute. It's really cute. Meanwhile, while the other two are at bees and apples, this is where we get the scene that hit you the hardest.
Yeah, it fucked me up. It fucked me up really bad.
Yeah. And we're going to find out why.
Sort of.
Well, yeah. Emma meets up with Alyssa, who tries to apologize, but Emma isn't having any of it. Alyssa tries to explain that she can't be what Emma needs because her mom is a control freak. Alyssa sings about how she has to be perfect. Straight A's, be on debate club, homecoming queen, perfect in every way. Because maybe, you know, because... and then she also throws in a thing with her, and it's because maybe her dad will come back if she's all these wonderful things. So we get a good helping of what is Alyssa's hang-ups. Alyssa sings about how she wishes she could live free and be herself and not have shits to give about people's opinions. Alyssa's song ends and Emma tells her that she's going to go public with her story and that she wants Alyssa to be there with her. Alyssa says that she can't, and Emma breaks up with her. So in this scene, Alyssa really goes into, like, it's very much Alyssa's backstory song.
Yeah.
You know, and she's talking about, you know, my mom's a control freak. I always had to be perfect at everything, you know. Every hour of every day was always booked and scheduled for me. You know, I had to do debate club, had to have perfect A's. I had to do cheers. You know, what was it? It was either
cheer squad or theater.
Yeah, something like that.
Like if you don't want to do cheer, you better learn to act and stuff like that, and then maybe your dad'll come back.
And it doesn't sound like the mom ever said that. It sounds like it was more of a thing with Alyssa that she's like, it was one of those classic, if I'm good enough, that person will
come back and love me, and it's the side of the LGBT community that needs to get supported more, is the side that can't come out for whatever reasons, like whether it be family, whether it be conditional love, whether it be I will get my ass kicked, whether it will be like that's the side that definitely needs a lot of support, because that's the side that's gonna be even more prone to suicide.
That, and it's like you and I had talked previously, and it's a very complicated, heavy subject, because there isn't just a one size fits all approach to it. Because I absolutely get Emma's perspective of this hurts too much. Like, they've been together a year and a half. It hurts too much to be keeping everything a secret and having to only be together in the shadows and stuff like that, especially when Emma is the outcast, and then she gets to see Alyssa have other friends and be socially accepted. Well, accepted. I mean, she's
in quotes.
In quotes, she's wearing a mask and hiding her true self to be accepted, but she gets to see it's a complete day and night type of difference with how their lives are. You know, the possibility of violence against Emma is stronger because she's out.
Yes.
Alyssa has that fear that if she comes out, then she might be subject to violence.
Yeah.
And
she doesn't know if she'll have anyone to turn to.
Yeah, she doesn't know.
Because
her dad's not in the picture, and if her mom gives up on her, then she, you know, that's the only family it seems like she has in there. Like, she doesn't ever talk about any other family. And you know, my heart really goes out to people in that situation, just because on the one aspect, you can try and be true to yourself and try to live your best life for what's right for you, or you can try to be incognito and just go with the flow, but at the same time, that creates such internal pain.
Yes.
Because you can't be yourself. You can't be yourself for fear of what others will think or do. And it's really hard. Like, I know that you identified a lot more with Alyssa and her struggles, and especially like a lot of the stuff, like got to be good academically, got to do all these things, and also with
no dad,
with the dad shit. And considering that I'm a cis white man, I identified with Emma with the whole like, I'm gonna be me. I'm not going, and I don't want a secret relationship. I mentioned before with you, I had very briefly had a girlfriend who was kind of like, oh yeah, we can date, but I don't, people can't know about it because you're not cool enough, basically. You're not one of the cool kids.
I was the secret for one dude who was Mormon. And
so you
never found out whether it was the black or the not LDS that was the real deal breaker with his mom. It probably was both.
Honestly, if it's one, it's probably the other two.
Yeah, because it was one of those like, oh, you're exotic. And if someone calls me exotic, I swear to God, I'm going to punch him in the face.
It's one of those things that
I don't have to be a good example to a kid.
Not being LDS was probably the easier one to do because, living in Utah, man, that's a super common thing. And same thing I told you before, I had a friend in high school who we ended up not being friends because he's like, well, basically you had to be a secret friend. Like my mom doesn't want me hanging out with you because you're not LDS and, might be a bad influence kind of thing.
I was a lot of people's at school friend.
Yeah.
And not outside of school.
And sometimes it was like at school friend if other people aren't around to see us be friends, because
that was
the
main thing.
This circle can't see me associating with you who's outside of the circle because then it'll compromise my position with the circle.
Yeah. And once it goes to a small school, it's even worse.
Yeah, I would imagine it's even worse.
It is hell. And you get really good at swings.
I was a swing expert.
Same.
So that's why we're saying.
Yeah.
But, so this, depending on who's watching it, they might be like, well, why doesn't Alyssa just come out? And other people watching it are like, I get why Alyssa doesn't come out. And some people might think that Emma's wrong for breaking up with Alyssa for not coming out. Like we said, it's complicated.
Yeah.
So
I would hope that people watching it can look to the other side of things. It definitely is framed more from Emma's perspective than Alyssa's.
She is the protagonist.
And so it's easier to put yourself in Emma's face, but definitely consider the folks that are on the Alyssa side of the spectrum that would have a lot of things to lose as well.
True, but...
And probably being a black lesbian in Indiana isn't gonna give her any... I don't know how many... Because if they're not in Gary, then...
yeah.
Trying to remember the small town murder stats for some of those small towns.
But it's one of those things, too, and then there's the flip side of that, too, which is then you can't force somebody to be in a relationship that they're uncomfortable with because you have to keep it secret. And so I feel like that in that thing, it probably, until they can be in a space where they can be together safer, it does make sense for them to not be together because, for one, it hurts Emma, and granted it hurts Alyssa as well, but
it does get rid of the one bit of support for Alyssa's sexuality that she has.
Yeah,
is
her secret support.
Yeah, because at least she has somebody to talk to, but as soon as there's no Emma, it's like, and I'm adrift, what the fuck do I do? It's
true.
Sucky all around.
It is sucky all around because we can pull from our own personal experiences and then say, well, this person should do this, or this person should be more understanding of that. But at the same time, everybody is responsible for their life
Yeah.
and their own choices. And
the heartbreaking thing is that they're so close to 18.
Yeah.
But for Emma, there's probably a little bit more freedom because who knows what Alyssa's conditions are for college.
Yeah.
From her mom.
Well, I'm sure her mom is probably like, you're going to go to Stanford, or you're going to go to Harvard, you're going to go to an Ivy League institution.
Yeah, and if you don't do this, and this, I'm cutting off everything.
Yeah, you need to be a doctor or a lawyer or...
Because just from that one song, it's like, oh, Alyssa, even with this ending happy, it's not completely happy for you, because you have to have the ride home.
There you go.
That's implied at the end when the mom's like, we still have to talk. And it's like, oh, no, this isn't no, I need to see what that talk was before I know how happy of an ending this is.
That's a fair point.
Or if this was just, you get one night. And then after this, I would hope not. I would hope not. But there are some parents that are fucky.
And people can be two-faced, so who knows? But yeah, but then again, we're getting into too much into
the 1 year later, like we do with other shows.
Fair.
The 1 year later of Guys and Dolls, where they adopt the entire cast of Annie.
Yeah, or the 1 year later with this, where it turns out that once they're both out and they're proud, then they realize, oh, well, you know what? I was dating you because you were the only other gay person I knew. Mm-hmm. And now there's this whole other world open up to me. Mm-hmm. So who knows?
Who knows?
But on a lighter note, Elder Price goes to the mall.
Thank God for this scene. This scene was needed.
This is an example of what we're talking about, how because it's PG-13, they don't kick you in the heart constantly, and so they have moments of levity to bring you out of the heavy moments, because you just need it. And this scene...
Fuck for the Godspell kids.
So this scene... this is a long note I have for this one. I have things to say about this.
That's fine.
So, this scene is entertaining. It is incredibly left-leaning. And what I mean by that is, you and I have seen these exact same arguments used against people on the right who are homophobic and against LGBTQ issues, and we know for a fact that it does not work.
This scene would never work in reality.
You can tell a bigoted Christian 100 times that Jesus said love thy neighbor, and they're gonna be like, yeah, but not gays.
Yeah, they will always, even if you, because even as good of an argument as Elder Price gives about using the Bible towards them, they will always cherry pick. They will always cherry pick. Always cherry pick. It's like arguing with a fucking wall. Yeah, and this goes not just for gay and trans issues. This is race issues. This is women's issues.
Yeah, everything.
Everything.
People are always going to cherry pick what they want to believe and disregard the other stuff that doesn't suit their narrative. That's just how it is, and it's incredibly frustrating.
Yeah, honestly, you have to do cult. Like, not to say that right-wing Christians are cultists.
I would like to direct you to the current political climate right now.
Current political climate. Not looking good for y'all. But you almost have to deprogram that way. Because it's why there's things like life after hate.
Yeah.
Is because you have to have somebody professionally break that shit down. Because as much as we'd love for the Godspell kids to swoop in and be like, love thy neighbor, you're saying this in the Bible, but what about this that you also do? They don't care, because...
You say gays are bad, but I see you're eating shrimp. Why is that okay?
Yeah, you shouldn't be eating shrimp.
Hey, you got that tattoo? Hey, I saw you got a haircut recently. Yeah. Those are all things not allowed.
You're wearing a polyester cotton blend. Not allowed. Read thy Bible if you're going to be quoting it, bitches.
So, yeah.
Also... taking the Lord's name in vain is not saying, oh my God. It is using God's name to bring about things that would harm other people. Like, it's using God's name in a way that's contrary to God.
So if you're saying, like,
That
God
is-
damn you,
Yes, God damn you is not taking the Lord's name in vain. Saying, God told me to build a wall and we're going to have Mexico pay for it. That's taking God's name in vain. I mean,
Okay.
he didn't ever say it that way, but, you know, people who think that, that's taking God's name in vain. Shame.
And a former minister in training here, so...
Was going to do that, and then I went, I don't think Lutherans are ready for a bisexual trans minister.
Plus, it was also, like, you and your mom learning about how...
Yeah, also, fuck the way that church is run. Jesus
It's a business.
Christ.
Yeah.
That is... No!
You're in the
No!
business of saving souls.
That was horrible.
So I did say on a lighter note, but we're going to get into it. So Elder Price goes to the mall to talk to the youth and asks them why they hate gays. With the help of the Godspell kids they traveled there with, they are able to use some of the similar tactics we've seen employed on bigots before with zero effect. But since it's a musical, it actually works. They run through the normal things. Well, gays are bad because it says so in the Old Testament. Well, blonde cheerleader has a tattoo, which is a no-no. Brunette cheerleader seems to be too friendly with her boyfriend, and Elder Price implies that if you're not a virgin, then you get to get stoned to death. Blonde cheerleader's boyfriend goes, well, my stepdad says, and Elder Price goes, whoa, divorce, huh? Well, I guess we'll have to kill your mom because the Bible. And it's the kind of stuff that anyone who has spent any amount of time on the internet arguing with bigots about their bigoted beliefs
In person.
has said or seen, but to no avail. If people want to keep their heads up their asses, they will do so with great determination. I've never said this before, but I wish life was more like a musical. Anyways, through the course of the song and scene, Elder Price keeps reminding the youth that one message above all others should be heeded. Love thy neighbor, which fucking men... through the use of logical arguments showcasing the hypocrisy implementing religious dogma in societal governance and the power of song, Elder Price convinces the youth to pull their heads out of their asses and clean the shit out of their ears, but in a more PG-13 way.
Yes.
Yay, musical! So, it's a good scene, but it's also a scene that any little bit of, I don't know,
It wouldn't work in a red state.
You apply it, well, I mean, even in a blue state, there's people who are red leaning. That's the thing, you can't...
Yeah, you can't. But, since he's doing it in this solidly red area, it's like, no, that's never gonna work. I mean, some folks here, Godspell is too out there. Godspell, which is just throwing the book of Matthew back at you, is too... left-leaning for this state in some places. Like, what?
Well, my favorite part of the Bible was where Jesus created a business in which he sold miracles to people, and using, like, that resurrecting, going to rich people being like, hey, you really want to live forever?
Jesus chased tax collectors out of the temple, and we need to all emulate Jesus and start whipping the lobbyists out, or whipping the church out of our politics, and so on and so forth. Like, because the church is not being an actual church. It is being run as a business. And as soon as they start being a business, you're not a religion anymore.
Well, it's being run as a political wing, too.
Yeah, that too.
Which is also
a business, because we live in a society.
We live in a society. We're supposed to behave in a civilized manner.
I'm about to, give up everything and go join a flock of ravens in the desert. And we're all just gonna sit and caw and pick at bones.
You know you can't fly, though, right? Okay, then. I stand corrected. Okay, get back in your seat. Back at the Hotel of Disappointment, Meryl, through the power of a handsome, charismatic Black Bay, has given up her Hampton house to her ex, Eddie Sharp, who has a popular comedy talk show. She's done with She's done this with no intent of a reward, and only for the purpose of easing another person's burden. It was a completely selfless act. And I love the way that she recounts that, too, with her friend. She's like, I've got Emma an appointment to be on Eddie Page's show. But the Hampton House. Yep. I've given up the Hampton House. I'm doing this for Emma with no thought of myself and just to ease her burden. And you get, like, Key just looking at her, just smiling, like, just like, yeah, good. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And she's just, the way that you see her brain trying to create these new neuron pathways to, like, reinforce, yes, this is what I do now.
Mm-hmm.
Giving back is my new thing. Yes, Emma comes in just in time to hear the good news that she'll be on TV with a guaranteed audience of 16 million people, and she'll be able to tell her story. Emma thanks them for all their help and support, and without them, she wouldn't have the courage to do this. But she's going to do it her way and not go on Eddie Sharp's show.
Good move.
Meryl, the reformed, now kind, generous, selfless, good person, lunges at Emma with murder in her eyes and is restrained by the others. James rushes Emma out before she can be murdered by Meryl, who is screaming, "You owe me a house! You owe me a house!"
That was such a good performance from her.
You know what? Old habits die hard.
Yes.
And she just kind of relapsed into
her I mean,
past
you can't take somebody who has just kicked a habit into the den of where their habits lie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well put.
You can't do that
well put.
and expect them to not slide off. Like, it just, no.
James sits down with Emma and gives him the short of her plan, that she's going to tell her story in her way, and in the end, there will be a prom in Edgewater, Indiana for everyone. She knows it. And she asks if James would be her date to that prom. When James tries to inquire about Alyssa, Emma says that they broke up. James agrees to be her date, and Emma rushes off to put her plan into action, leaving James to sing about how he's finally going to the prom, and how if he could go back and yell at his young self, and if he could go back in time and tell his young self that everything will be all right and that everything will get better. And it's actually a pretty cute scene for him, because he's like a giddy little schoolboy again, you know? And it shows some flashbacks to him being a teen, like waiting outside prom, you know, for his date.
The youngest fucking teen I've ever seen.
You've probably seen my teen photos.
Oh, fair.
I have the baby face. Fair. I had an even babier face when I was a baby. But you see him, he talks about he's waiting for his date to show up, and then his date showed up with a girl, and just kind of looked at him as he walked in, and he was just like, oh.
Yeah.
Onward. Emma is at home on her laptop and telling the world her story. If people heard about the girl at a prom of if people heard about the girl who was at a prom of one, that was her, and how much it hurt, and how she was feeling sorry for herself, and she didn't want other people to feel alone. And Emma sings an awesome song that gets hella views, and lots of other queer peers who are sharing their experience about being gay and afraid. It's a very touching scene, and it ends with the principal Key showing the video to our Broadway gang, who are just blown away by it. However, the prom Emma is throwing has no funding, and all the actors chip in to help fund it.
I don't know if it happens before the funding or after, where you see Alyssa watching the video and her mom being a total bitch.
It's during it.
Yeah.
So it's before it goes. Thank you for bringing that up, because you see Alyssa at the counter, you know, in the kitchen at home watching it, and her mom's just comes in and she's like, how many times are you going to watch that, kind of thing? And she's like, I think it's very brave, you know, kind of thing. And her mom's just kind of giving her the side eye, like, why aren't you homophobic like me?
Yeah.
I didn't raise you to not be a bigot.
I worry for that girl.
Yeah. So all the actors chip in to help fund the prom that Emma wants to throw. Meryl, too, with a little guilting and prodding from the others. As they're leaving, Meryl tells James that she called his mother, because she knows he wouldn't, and when James inquires what his mother said, Meryl is like, well, why don't you let her tell you? And James's mother is right there behind him. Meryl bails and leaves the two to talk, and James is like, fuck off, Mom! And she tries to apologize, saying that her and his father just didn't know how to handle the news that he was gay, and that she's sorry and that they were not there, that she's sorry that they were not there for him. His father is still not quite there, but hey, Mom is there, so that's a 50% success.
Yeah.
James forgives his mom, and the two hug and cry, and it's emotional, and for a brief moment I felt the curse of the witch start to break, but then it snapped back, and the tears were transferred to Kay. Big time.
Yeah, and they're starting to transfer again. Fuck, that scene!
Yeah, that's one of the scenes that we were talking about that James Corden really acted his balls off.
Yeah.
In that. And like, he just, he got teary-eyed, and he had so much emotion and so much passion in that scene.
Yeah, and I so wish we could have seen that Barry Glickman underneath the rest of it, but whatever, it's James Corden, he's Buster Jones.
He just needs to say that he's bisexual, and then it'd be like, okay.
But he's not, he's straight.
Back at the prom to be, the gang is decorating, and they decide to come clean with Emma and tell her that they came to Indiana for selfish reasons, to help their careers. And Emma is cool with it, because they came clean and they're there to help her. Bitch Von School Board comes in to be like, stop this! Stop it now! And Principal Key is like, hey, it's not a school activity, it's a private event, so fuck off. And before Bitch Von School Board can get another word in, the kids that Elder Price sang the power of Jesus' love into come into the gym to tell Emma that they are sorry for being jerks, and Elder Price is like, ha, I'm awesome. And the kids are like, you explained things really well. You should be a teacher.
I love that.
Oh my god, you should be our drama teacher. And Principal Key is like, you're hired. Don't know where we're gonna get the funding for a new class and a teacher, but hey, it's a movie musical, so welcome to the faculty.
Meryl Streep.
So
Joke.
Okay. I was going to go into a whole thing about how that would probably only work for a year, and that they're still going to have to probably raise taxes in order to fund the drama department.
And they won't do it. They won't do it, because
who knows?
They say fuck the arts every time.
Arts is always the first thing to get cut. Anyways, Bitch Von School Board tries to stop all the positivity and is stopped by Alyssa, who comes in to be like, stop talking, just listen. People don't turn gay. They are who they are, and they just want to be allowed to live. And Alyssa then turns around and tells Emma that she loves her, and Emma tells Alyssa she loves her. And Bitch Von School Board is not happy. She tells Alyssa that she's young and confused, and that she doesn't know what she wants in her life, and she tries to tell her that she doesn't want her life to be hard. Bitch Von School Board tells her that they'll talk about this at home, and she marches out, leaving Alyssa crying in Emma's arms.
I think I remember Alyssa also saying, life already is hard.
So she's crying in Emma's arms, who has dealt with this kind of thing before. So what Kay had said, before she turns around to tell Emma that she loves her, or is it?
It's after.
It is after. Yeah, she says, you're young and you're confused, and I don't want your life to be hard. Mm-hmm. And she's like, life is already hard, kind of thing. Yeah. And the thing, too, is I just want to reach into the movie universe and yell in Bitch Von School Board's face, it's only hard because of people like you! Mm-hmm. Like, it's hard for gay people because of bigots who want to hurt gay people.
Yeah.
That's why it's hard.
Yeah.
If you're cool with it, like any normal person who knows gay people and is like, oh, they're just people like me. They just are attracted to something else. Like, I don't go around slapping Brussels sprouts out of the hand of everybody going, no, you can't have Brussels sprouts because I think Brussels sprouts are gross. And if I think it's gross, you're not allowed to like it. Okay.
Yeah,
I have no strong opinions about the equal treatment of people whatsoever.
Or Brussels sprouts.
I mean, see, that's not a fair comparison because I like them now, if you cook them right. But that's...
You're welcome.
Yes, glory to the K. Okay.
But yeah, no, it's one of those things where, and it's the same thing with pronouns too. If you use the person's preferred pronouns, that's gonna make their life a little bit easier.
Oh man, and
like
you were so right.
That's something that, I mean, you've seen me go off on Facebook at people that I used to go to school with and shit. That will be assholes.
And that's the thing is, like, when you do that, it's not because they like slipped up. It's because they're intentionally
they are intentionally
being condescending.
Jackasses.
They're intentionally being assholes. Like, oh, what, you prefer they them? Well, sorry, she, kind of thing. And it's like, I try to be good.
Sorry, she, but I prefer good English. Fuck you, motherfucker. They, them has been a singular pronoun since the 14th century. Look it the fuck up. It's in the Oxford Dictionary, you ass.
Yeah. Well,
sorry.
No, you're fine. And I was just going to talk about, like, I try to be very respectful of people's pronouns. I still fuck up with you sometimes, but every time I do, I try to correct myself. Because even though you're cool with it, and, like, you don't take any personal offense...
Because my personal pronouns are they, them, but I am okay with she, her, because I still, for reasons, present more feminine to people, even though, partly because my gender identity is weird. So it's hard to explain it.
See, and my pronouns are he, him, or you sexy motherfucker. Like, either, I'm fine with any.
But if you call Warren sexy motherfucker, just know that I'm going to be looking going, what are your intentions with my husband?
The shorthand of that is if it's a guy saying it, you're cool. If it's a girl,
for the most part, yeah.
If it's a girl, then you're going to be like,
If it's a guy saying it, chances are I'm like, okay, well, yeah, that's... You'll be getting something out of the exchange that I cannot give you, and hey, that's you with.
Hey, you know that if somebody flirts with me, that if somebody not my wife flirts with somebody with a vagina who is not my wife flirts with me, I will come tell you because because I don't want you to not trust me.
Yeah.
So I will tattle. I will be like, just so you know, so and so did this thing, and you'll be like, okay, now I know that I need to kill them. No, you don't kill them.
I'm like a fucking Canada goose, man.
Just know that I am loyal and I love you.
Fucking trumpeter swan over here, just flap, flap, flap.
Boy, can I just say I'm glad you don't have teeth on your tongue?
Me too.
Yeah. No bueno. So...
I'm also glad you don't have teeth on your tongue, because that would not be fun.
Kissing would be like a knife fight.
Perfect for an audio medium.
Okay. So. Bitch fun. School board leaves, and Alyssa's crying in Emma's arms. The adults in the room jingle the keys and are like, oh, hey, let's decorate, huh? Decorating is fun and will distract us from all these emotions. And the scene pretty much goes right into the prom. The decorations are awesome. The scene looks great, and everybody is blown away. Emma and Alyssa dance and sing as the crowd starts to roll in. Kids from all across have come to the prom, and it's very inclusive. And we see some of the straight couple kids from earlier come too, because it's an inclusive prom.
Yep.
It's not a gay prom.
Which, that is something that, like, it does... having good allies is amazing. Having good allies is one of the best feelings, so I loved that, and I also loved that it wasn't just gay couples. That it was trans people with, like, female presenting, male presenting, either in, like...
It ran the gamut.
It ran the gamut. It ran the gamut of couples who, if you were to look at them, you go, oh, that's a straight couple, but really that's, one person is probably bi, the other person is maybe straight, or is also bi. You had a couple of folks that looked like triads, which was cool to see. triads being a polyamorous relationship, which doesn't get much brought in. I kind of would have loved to have seen some way of showing that you had ace people included, but that would be harder to do just because, it's easier to make something... It's easier to bring out people that very visually look, oh, hey, this is a bunch of kids from all across the LGBTQ spectrum. But, it's a movie. It's the limitations of that. I liked that, though, because, and it's the same thing with the song that Emma was singing, that you had kids that were, like, very much so, like, non-binary and stuff. In underrepresented parts of the LGBT community being shown. That was really good to see, because they could have gone the easy route and had just boy-girl or boy-boy couples and girl-girl couples, but instead they went, oh, hey, we have couples that might be straight passing, in quotes, because I hate that term, but that's the easiest way to put it, but aren't, or you would have, like, you have trans kids, you have cis kids being with, like, it's all inclusive.
The whole rainbow was there.
Yeah, and trans I'm including non-binary because we're part of that umbrella, but yeah.
But yeah, it's really good that they had the whole rainbow represented, because like you're talking about, they could have kind of gone with vanilla gay and just kind of been like, just lesbians, just gay, just having that, but they really tried to show
the B is for bacon, the T is for tomato.
The sandwich people. Love me a good gay sandwich. But yeah, they could have gone that route, but in for a penny, in for a pound, they were like, no, let's try and show as much of that spectrum as we can. And it is cool that they had the straight allies there too, the recently rehabilitated former bigots kind of thing.
Yes.
And so that's nice to see too. And it's one of those things too that I think it is an important message that people grow.
Yes.
People grow, and you can be, I shouldn't say ashamed, that's the wrong word. You can change just because you were raised a certain way, maybe to like dislike a certain group or to have a certain view.
Yes.
People grow and people change as new information is presented to them, and they assimilate that information and they change their worldview based on that. And people who formerly maybe were really homophobic, if they are genuine in like their man, I was wrong. Like gay people are all right, and I was wrong to, it is also important to be welcoming of that group, like to be like, hey, you know what? You shit the bed, but you know what? You put on some clean sheets and you're moving forward.
You acknowledged you shit the bed, you apologized for shitting the bed, and then you cleaned up the bed.
Yes. Nobody is perfect. Everybody fucks up.
Yeah.
We've all had shitty views at one time or another.
Yes.
But the important thing is that, people grow and change and become better. And it is good to see that, because I know I give those kids shit the whole movie for being bigots kind of thing, but, hatred is taught. Like, we learn hatred from our parents and our peers and shit like that.
And so, it's good to see, too, because you also have Barry's mom is there. And
yes. He dances with his mom, which is cute.
That's important, too, that there's that healing that can start to happen, because it's good when it can. Because it doesn't often.
It's not a one-size-fits-all thing.
There are often folks who don't get that sort of healing, so it's good to see those bits of hope. And it's one of those things that I sat there and I went, man, if I would have seen this as a kid, or as a teen, I probably would have come out as non-binary a lot sooner, but I also didn't know that there was a word for it. So.
As a non-bi-bi?
Yeah, it would have been like, oh, I'm a non-bi-bi.
Or is it a bi-non-bi? I think non-bi-bi rolls.
Non-bi-bi is more fun.
It rolls off the tongue better.
Yeah, it's a little bit more fun.
All right, so, so people start rolling in to join the prom. The entire rainbow is represented, and Bitch Von School Board comes in looking snazzy. And Alyssa goes to her. Bitch Von School Board tells her that she's her daughter, and that she loves her, and nothing will change that. And the two cry and hug.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a good scene, and holy shit, Kerry Washington's such a good actress.
She is.
God, she, like, yo. Because I'm, I know next to nothing about her in real life. I imagine if you're doing this kind of movie, playing that kind of role, you're probably not homophobic.
Yeah.
So for her to wear those shoes and to do it so well, and to really bring a lot of emotion to that type of person having that kind of struggle, like I don't like gay people, my daughter's gay, but I love my daughter. Her cognitive like, you get to really see her struggle as she delivers her lines, and I love that.
Yes.
Like, oh my god, she
did
good.
a very good job.
Okay. So they cry and hug, and then let's get this party started. Music kicks in, and everybody dances and sings, and it's a beautiful closing to the show. Principal Key kisses Meryl, woo, and James dances with his mom, and we find out that Nicole gets to take the red-eye flight the next day because she's going to get the leading role that she's been shafted over and over and over again for.
Roxy Hart has shingles.
Yep.
Which I love that it was Tina Louise, who was from Gilligan's Island. She was Ginger.
Yeah.
And I loved that. I fucking loved that so much.
I love that. What was it, like, her, like, because she's on the phone and stuff, and she's like, oh my gosh, she has shingles, and they want me to play the role of whatever her name is, and
Roxy Hart.
Yeah, Roxy Hart. Well, what'd you tell them? I told them, no, I'm going to the prom, and they're like, woo! And she's like, just kidding, I've got a red-eye flight tomorrow morning, so let's get this party started, kind of thing, which was great, because I love how her thing is, she's like, because initially you get this moment like, oh my gosh, her character growth, she turned down this role that she's been, nope, she's just going to try and burn the candle at both ends.
Yes, which is a very theater response, actually.
Yeah, it definitely is. You just kind of rely on the stage help to get you through that performance.
I'm going to do 3 different shows. I'm going to be in production of one, opening another, and rehearsals for a third, because
You did that, didn't you?
Footloose, Godspell, and I'm trying to remember the third one. The third one was a blur. That's how burned out.
That's how overextended you were.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, the big finale number ends and goes into the credits, where we see the main cast sitting in the photo chairs holding up signs saying stuff like best dressed.
We also got a cute kiss from Jess and Alyssa.
Yeah,
or Emma and Alyssa.
That's true. We do get to see our couple of the show finally kiss.
Which I do love that both girls are also not straight. Which, thank you for doing that at least, movie.
Yeah, thank you for doing that at least. But yes, so we get to see them kiss and stuff, and everybody's partying, having a good time, and because the prom party scene continues into the credits. It's one of those very upbeat credits where it kind of continues the show.
And we find out that Tracy Ullman was in this the entire time.
Yeah, and she played Barry's mother.
Yeah, and it's like, what? That's you.
But yes, so people are sitting in the photo chair, holding up different signs as the camera zooms in on them, like best dressed, biggest drama queen, most athletic, just fun school stuff like that.
Yeah.
The end.
Very cute.
The show is, yeah, so my closing thoughts. The show is good and has great music, and holy fuck is it full of feels. I don't think I've seen a show make Kay cry this much and almost make me cry this much.
My God, it's full of feels.
My God, it's full of tears. But yeah, good show. There are some things that Kay and I had artistic differences about, like with the production of the show, and we also had differences with, story-wise, But overall, good show. Good show. I do. The music was really good. I do wish the songs were a little bit more memorable, because, like I said, this probably isn't a soundtrack that I would listen to a whole lot.
No,
but it's a fun movie musical.
Yes.
It's well done.
Yes, it is.
Solid.
Yes. I do want to see it on stage.
See, I would
I would love to see this one on stage.
I would love to see a pro shot, too.
And once again, this is just more proof of movie musicals do not destroy the appreciation of theater. They make us want to see them more and make us wish that we could be in the seat and be there, like Principal Keegan-Michael Key.
My biggest thing is just crowds.
Yeah, but when you're in the theater, you don't really notice the crowds as much. Generally. Oh, grunty girl.
Squeaker girl wants her
Squeaker
dinner.
girl, yeah. So, with that being said, are you ready to find out what we're watching next?
Ooh, what's our next show, Kay?
It'll be the second time we've had a non-family guest on the show. We are going to be doing Guys on Ice with the amazing Ned Donovan. Woo!
I'm excited.
Yes, me too. So's Latte.
Latte's very excited to have Ned on the
Latte's very
show.
excited.
And for our listeners, Ned Donovan was, you might remember him from October when we did The Hunted Encore, as he was part of one of the actors and also helped produce and
He
do that.
wrote the show.
Yeah, wrote it. Yeah.
He wrote The Hunted Encore seasons 1 and 2, which, again, y'all, if you haven't watched it yet, what are you doing? Go watch it now. It's good.
Awesome.
It's so
awesome.
good.
Great music.
Best Halloween shows ever. But yeah, so I'm excited for that. Let's get ready to head out. Thank you all so much for listening.
If you'd like to get in touch with Kay and I, you can do so at our home base, which is tonedeafmusical.com. There we have links to our social medias, our Instagrams, our Facebooks, our Twitters, as well as a link to the Cast Junkie Discord server, where we have our own Not Safe for Work channel. So come, drop in, hang out, share some pictures of your animals, and talk about theater, or just shoot the shit.
Yes, if you want to... Almost. If you want to help out the show, please leave a review. Really helps us get up the charts. Anyway, that'll be it for this week. I'm Kay.
I'm Warren.
And this has been
Tone Deaf.
All right, Cooper.
Shall we? Let's go. Yeah. Do you need to go see that Grandpa's here? Are you nervous about Grandpa?